welcome everybody to the Core Racing League Premier Series Championship night. We have a double header tonight here. As you see here, we have the midgets on tap tonight, 40 laps. They're finishing up their practice here. I am your broadcast specialist, Dylan McDonald, in the booth by myself tonight, as we had some unforeseen circumstances, but we got it all figured out, and I will be calling the action in the booth tonight instead of being down there with these drivers. But from what I've seen so far in practice, and as you see there, I have a pretty good understanding that, yeah, I'm glad I'm in the booth. But it's a double header, like I said tonight. It's going to be the not Chili Bowl. It's going to be the Dirt Midgets at the dirt track of Charlotte, and then following a little short intermission, it will be the SK Modifieds at Lucas Oil Raceway. So 2 races tonight to determine the champion of Season 7 of the Premier Series, as the top 5 that are going for the championship is Aaron Smith in the number 70, Carl Handwerk in the 18, Paul Butler in the number 77, Chris Hamilton in the 64, and I believe the last one is Dane Simpson in the 96. Those 5 are not allowed to qualify. They have to start from the rear of the field and work their way up. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in one of our championship contenders, Carl Handwerk. He's going to give us a little bit of a rundown here for the race tonight. Carl, I know you guys can't qualify for these 2 championship races, so why don't you give us a little rundown on how these 2 races are going to work for the championship guys?
Um, you're gonna need some Kleenex alongside your racecraft here because it's gonna make somebody cry. This is not exactly an easy combination here. The track is just super bumpy, and these things feel like they have zero downforce. It's gonna be a little bit rough here for this first one, but I mean it's gonna be the same deal as last week. The top 5, the guys still fighting for the championship are gonna get the EOLs in reverse order. So from front to back, it'll be Dane, Paul, Chris, myself, and then Aaron for this one. And then once this race is over, we'll redo the points, see what the order is, and then we'll shake it up for that second SK modified race at IRP.
All right. Well, with that being said, can you give us a little bit of the track conditions? Are they going to reset for the feature tonight, or are they just going to keep going after qualifying?
They keep going for qualifying here, but then they will reset to 10%.
Okay, so
So
you're
we'll
going
get
to have
a bit of a reset.
you're going to have somewhat of a newer track out there, so you guys do get a little bit of tackiness. But by the end of that 40 laps, it's going to look like the 87 cars at Eldora a couple weeks ago for the Vintage Series. So from up here in the booth, I'll say good luck to you and the other 4 competitors paddling for the championship tonight, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll try and get the points done as soon as this one's over and give you an update at least on the top 5.
All right, sounds good, Carl. All right, so that was Carl Handwerk, the league admin of Core Racing League. You heard it here. It's going to be tough. It's the midgets. It's dirt. You're going to see a lot of side-by-side action, slipping and sliding all the way through the track. As we take a look here, Thaddeus Marshall out there on track. Going to get a little different perspective on how he's running and how much he's really turning that wheel. So we'll go ahead and jump on to the gyro cam here. Give you a little, well, it doesn't really show the wheel too much, but you can see just how much he is getting into the car. But it looks like that's the last person to qualify so far. So we will see if anybody does end up coming back out here. Do want to get some other people out there to see exactly how their qualifying is going. But so far, you have Thaddeus Marshall sitting on top with a 16.743, and Jimmy Covert in second. Brandon Metler with in third, driving the number 15 car. Adam Jones driving the number 46. Kevin Hollywood Foster in the number 8 machine. And then you have John Crane in the 11. John Crane is a guy that runs on Tuesday nights here in the Core Series. So if you haven't yet, go out there and check out the race from Tuesday night, as I was doing the booth with another fellow broadcaster, Kevin Young, and that that was a beautiful race, especially at Michigan. But with qualifying almost done, we have about 30 seconds left in qualifying. You're going to see a lot of people going to try to hunt the front, as they call it here. They're going to run the top, they're going to run the middle, they're going to run the bottom. You got to watch out for those tires on the inside of the track, as well as me being a not so good dirt racer. I have caught those tires from time to time, and it is not a fun ride. These dirt midgets are quite a bit of a handful to maintain, but 40 laps for the first race. Don't have to worry about pitting, as in dirt cars you cannot pit for fuel or tires. So these will make the whole 40 laps as we get ready to do our grid here. I'll bring that up for the race. So in first place is Thaddeus Marshall, running let me get to his name here. Change the camera. Thaddeus Marshall in that Thaddeus Marshall qualifying with a 16.743 in the number 87 machine, taking over the number 1 spot. Jimmy Covert in P number 2. Brandon Mettler driving the number 15 Five King Motorsports. Fourth on the outside row number 2 is Adam Jones in the number 46. P number 5 is Kevin Foster in the 8 machine. Sixth, John Crane. And then, like you heard it earlier, it will end up going as follows with Dane. Then, I believe he said, who did he say? Paul? Dane, Paul. Dane, Paul. Can't really remember the actual order, but the top 5 that are battling for the championship do go to the rear, so that's going to be another thing to look out for. As now we're going to look in here and look at these beautiful paint schemes. Is Thaddeus Marshall in that Hyper Racing number 87 car. Going to look for his debut to see if he can fool anybody from getting this race win. The 14 of Jimmy Covert driving that Valvoline Energy Eagle 1 dirt midget. Third is Brandon Mettler in the Five King Motorsports number 15. Adam Jones in the iRacing number 46. Kevin Foster taking it old school with a little bit of camouflage instead of the rust. Jimmy Cover. Okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and get There's Jonathan Crane there in the Stanton Racing Engines. The number 70 of Aaron Smith, the Yellow Banana as they like to call him, the 05 of Tim Thompson, and the NOS energy drink here. And we will go ahead and get you back to the TV number 1 as of right now, so we can see the whole grid formation here. We'll go back to the leader, as they may delay the green to get everybody back in file, but so far this is going to be a really, really fun race to watch. Is normally they do a 3-wide salute for your fans out there, but I don't think tonight they will do the 3-wide salute, as these cars are a little bit territorial on trying to keep them straight and not hit anybody else. But 40 laps, we're going to see if the guys in the back can work their way up to the front, as it looks like the pace car is going to be off of pit road here. So we're going to see Thaddeus Marshall going to take the green flag here as he comes around turn number 3 and 4. Going to get the track map up for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing. And it is right. Track map. There we are. got the track map there, so go ahead and overlay. Restart it. There we are. As we get, they did delay the green, so I do apologize for that. But going to start off with Thaddeus Marshall can't go until the green flag drops, so this is going to be a new thing. This is a thing that the core does, and it looks like Thad gets a good jump. He's going to take him into turn number 1, still side by side, kind of the 15, trying to make his way around the 14 of Jimmy Covert. He's going to run the outside of Jimmy, going to run the wall, kind of take it down and work his way around. But checking back in the back, we have Carl Handwerk, and it looks like a cluster back here as Chris Hamilton's going to ride the outside. Dane Simpson goes from the middle to the bottom as Carl Handwerk's stuck behind him, nowhere to go. Carl is going to take it to the inside of Dane. Gets it wrapped around the bottom, doesn't hit the tires, but now he's got the Paul Butler in the number 77 as Aaron Smith starts working his way around on the outside. The 77 gets a little bit too loose. The 18 of Carl Handwerk has to back it down just a little bit to not hit the number 77. Good judgment call by the 18 there as your race could end in a hurry as they are 3 wide now, back down to 2 wide as Carl makes the lunge on the number 046. The 046 gets into the Carl. The 046 gets into, or the 46 gets, the 96 gets into the 46, and they all kept it straight, but that was a very close call for Carl Handwerk there as Adam Jones got into Carl, and that could have ended both nights for the number 18 and the 46, but now he's starting to work on Paul Butler here. Going to run the inside. Paul's running the outside to middle. Going to drop down in front of Carl. Carl cannot make the pass. Going to try to set it up again. Try to get the run on the number 046 as the 96 of Dane Simpson has just spun out. Going to take a quick look at that as they're still green here. Going to see what exactly happened. Wonder if he got into the corner here a little bit too much. Tries to dive it underneath. Comes back up, and it just looks like the car got a little bit too much for him. Kept it green. No worries about that, but so far right now we got Paul Butler battling the number 11 on the inside. Paul gets a little bit shot. Oh, that may bring out a caution there. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to go ahead and take another look at that as Paul Butler caught the number 11, but kind of sent it in there a little bit too hard. That's a championship contender. John Crane get a little bit of net code, almost hits the 70, and Paul Butler just has nowhere to go as that is not something you want to see. Your championship could go up in smoke there as it looks like the 11 just had a little bit of an incident there. Not exactly sure what just happened, but it involved our championship contender Carl Handwerk. Going to see what the 11 does here. The 11, just overcorrects it. Gets into Carl, sends him flipping down the front stretch. Maybe, hopefully, Carl was able to get it back up on his wheels. No, he is not able to. That is not something you really want to see, as that could possibly ruin his chance of a good podium spot here. Going to look at the chase cam of Carl Handwerk and just see exactly what happens here as we get ready to take a look. Carl gonna go to his inside. John Crane just overdrove it, and Carl, as you see there, just goes for a ride. And in these midget cars, it doesn't take much, as these are open wheel fender cars. There's not a lot of stuff that you can do to get around there, as it looks like Paul Butler gets a lap back there. Not sure exactly. Oh yeah, Paul did get a little bit. He spun there a little bit earlier, and now he's back out and able to go as he gets back out there and gonna get his lap back and show them what he can do. As it looks like they pit stops. So again, you don't have to pit unless you have, big heavy damage. You do get one fast repair. I am a Premier Series driver for next season. I've done the Premier Series. I did make the championship in season 4, and I tell you what, these guys, it it's tough competition out here. Is a lot of stuff could happen, but they are back green here quickly as Paul Butler gets back up here. But let's take a look at Christopher Hamilton. He's slowly making his way, but don't look now. Here comes the number 70 of that yellow banana as Carl Hamworth gets back out on track. Carl is now 3 laps down, going to make it 4 as he's right in front of Thaddeus Marshall, going to see if he can pull away, but Jimmy Covert is not going down without a fight. There's a big battle here with Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy almost gets hit by the number 15. The 15 able to get it off track, keep it off track, not hit the tires. They're 3 wide behind him with Aaron Smith, Adam Jones, and Dane Simpson came out of nowhere as he was trying to make it 3 to 4 wide, and they just ended up coming out with 2 wide. And now Dane is working on Paul Butler. Dane's going to drop it back down to the inside. And like I said earlier, you got to watch out for those tires. As the track gets a little bit worn, you will end up having a lot of spinning moments, I should say. I'm not a dirt guy. I don't know the right terminology. But it looks like the number 11 has crashed again. Not sure exactly what happened. He is not having a good night tonight, as that is spin number 2 on the night for him. But there's a bigger battle going on with Adam Jones and Paul Butler. Paul almost got in the side of Adam Jones, but Adam Jones able to get it back straight and is now looking like Adam Jones has the lane over Paul Butler. Paul Butler is going to try to slide it to the outside. Gets a lot more rotation and more momentum than the 46. Going to try a little crossover. Gets it done. Going to sling it down to the inside. Going to pull up in front of the 46. He makes that pass, but here comes another championship contender in the number 96 of Dane Simpson. He's going to try to do the same thing. He's going to try to make it 2 for 1, but he can only make the 1 instead of the 2. He got around the number 46, but the 46 is going to try to have a rebuttal here, as it looks like the 46 is now down 2 positions, and now the guys leading the championship race, as we are 23 laps out of 40, would be Christopher Hamilton in that number 64, but the 70 is catching the 64 of Christopher Hamilton, so that's going to be another battle to keep your eye on, as Carl Hamworth is 4 laps down, not battling for position, but he's still not out. Dane Simpson, not sure exactly what happened to him, but he's a little bit slow. Going to take a look back here and see what happened. Going here, he's catching up to Paul Butler, not sure if you can see there, the tracks get a little bit slick, kind of misjudged it, hit those tires just head on. Exactly what I was talking about. Those tires come up out of nowhere, and you're just along for the ride. As that happened to him, that's just something that you don't want to see, as that could hinder your championship hopes. But now Aaron Smith has closed the gap even more. Chris Hamilton just has to hold him off. Chris Hamilton's trying to chase that championship, as same with Aaron Smith. All 5 of these guys are chasing the championship. Carl has won 4 Premier Series championships. He's trying to make it 5. Aaron Smith, the newcomer, trying to be a new winner. Chris Hamilton, he's been here for a while. Me and him have battled in other races in the Core Racing Series, and he's very smooth and consistent, but it looks now that the 70 has a run on the number 64, so we're going to probably see a pass here going into turn 3 and 4. The 70 got a good entrance into 3 and 4, but Chris, riding that low line, he's making it stick here, as Aaron Smith is still door-to-door with Chris. So far, Thaddeus Marshall has pulled away to a 2-second lead over second place of Jimmy Covert, both running very well and very clean, as Carl is now behind Jimmy Covert, and now he's just waiting for this race to be over, as we have 10 laps to go. Aaron Smith on the outside still of Chris Hamilton, going to drive it deep, drive it down in hard. He's going to get around Chris Hamilton there just by a little bit, but not able to clear him. Chris still running the inside, still not able to clear Aaron Smith on the outside of him. So this may come down to the very last lap, as these two are battling really hard, but keeping it really clean. I think, honestly, if I was Aaron, I'd want that inside. I don't know if I'd want the outside. Yes, there's not a lot of people running that outside, but it just that inside's proving well for Chris Hamilton here as he's being very smooth on the wheel, not giving it too much throttle input, not giving it too much wheel input as well. So Aaron's going to try to look and see if Chris Hamilton can make a mistake within these next 5 laps as we are lap 34 out of 40. As Thaddeus Marshall comes around to take 5 to go, he's now caught the 96. He's nowhere near the 96 to try and make a pass, but the 64 and 70 are just dead even now as Tim Thompson's on the outside, and that's going to play part to Chris Hamilton now. Aaron's going to have to take it in a little bit shallower, but now three is a party. You got the 64, the 70, and the 77, all championship contenders. Now, if these two do get into a tangle here, we could have the 77 try to take a spot here as we got another caution. Low. Dane Simpson, your championship contender. Going to take a look here and see what happened as we go into. Oh, he hits the wall. Oh, and he gets punted. He got punted again, and good miss by mostly everybody there as he jumped to the pits. And it looks like Jimmy Covert has crashed. No, I think Jimmy Covert just was slowing down. SDK thought it was a crash. But so far, your top three are Thaddeus Marshall, Jimmy Covert, Chris Hamilton, followed by Aaron Smith, Paul Butler, Brandon Mettler, Adam Jones, Kevin Foster, Tim Thompson, Dane Simpson, Carl Handwerk, and John Crane. As we move up here to Thaddeus Marshall, he's pretty much put on a clinic this whole race. We're going to see now with a fresh restart as they got the 1 to go single, Thad going to take the inside. So we're going to see what Thad does here, if he goes right off the start or if he's going to just go on green. It is leader's discretion, so we're going to see exactly what does happen here as we're going down the backstretch into turn 1, 3, and 4. Thad going to lead him into the restart zone, and Thad is on the loud pedal first, and here we go. Back to 2 wide racing, 3 wide racing at most. Jimmy Covert dropping back to 4th, and here comes the number 70 and the 64 and the 77 as Brandon Mettler's on the outside of the 77. The 15 trying to make it 3 wide on the 70 and the 77, but thinks better of it as there's 1 lap to go, as it looks like Aaron may be able to get there. Jimmy kind of playing a pick for Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton's going to hold on to P number 3. Oh, this 77 hits the tire. That was crucial. We're going to have to get a replay of that because that was just, oh man. We're going to have to stop this, get on a chase cam here because that was crazy to watch as we look on board here of the number 77. He's pushing it in, hits that tire, and goes around for a ride. Lands on all fours, gets it going with a little bit of a sky wheelie, and that'll do it for the first race as Thaddeus Marshall takes the win over Jimmy Covert and Chris Hamilton, your third place winner. So now, with that being said, we're going to get the top 3 of the first race in here for an interview, take a little intermission. So in that intermission, you guys can go get drinks, eat, do whatever you need to. I'll bring Carl back in the booth. He can explain how the points are for the second race, and we will get back to our green flag racing. So our third place would be Christopher Hamilton. He is not in there. Second place, Jimmy Covert. Hey, Jimmy, this is Dylan in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I copy.
Hey, well, sorry, you finished second place in that first race. Uh, a couple of guys that are in the championship had a few run-ins, especially the 18 of Carl Handwerk, Dane Simpson, and Paul Butler. What were you trying to do? Were you trying to hold off Chris Hamilton to keep that second place, or were you just going to let him by if he got the better run?
Oh no, I wasn't letting anybody by. Second place. I was just trying to keep up with that, and we got grouped up there at the end for late caution there. I kind of figured that Chris had the inside line, and I needed a good jump, and I was just able to stick to the higher line. And I worked the wheel a little bit and able to get a better run off, and I was able to just nudge him out. But I wasn't the fastest one tonight, but I definitely kept Thad honest tonight, so he wasn't able to pull away too bad on us.
Well, as you said, you did keep him honest. Up here in the booth, I did notice that a lot of people were still running the top at the end of this race. Was the top faster in most parts, or was it bottom dominant as the blue groove came in?
When the blue groove came in, it was still the low side, which was a little more dominant. It was easier. It was safer. You went up to the top side. You could carry some speed, but you would fall off pace just a little bit. So I found working like middle and lower edge was worked better for me. For tonight. So I don't have a lot of time in dirt cars, but we just went out here and have some fun and did the best we can.
That's always the positive way to look at it. You're not a dirt guy, as you said yourself. I'm not a road guy. Uh, so we both have our flaws and what we could get better at. But a strong P2 tonight. Is there anybody want to give a thanks or shout out to before I send you back up?
No, I just want to give a thanks to everybody in core, the CRN team, of course, for picking this up tonight. Just the guys coming out. It's been a great season so far. Haven't been able to get that W this season, but who knows? We got one more race, and we'll give it a try there.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll go ahead and set you back up with the rest of the guys, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the race number two.
All right, thank you.
That was our second place finisher, as Chris Hamilton was not in here, so I couldn't pull him in. But now we're going to bring in our first race winner, Thaddeus Marshall, the King of Dirt, as some people do call him. I honestly, Thad, you kind of put on a clinic there in the first race. Kind of walk me through on how the track laid out and exactly what line you were really wanting to run that whole race.
Running the full practice session, seeing how that bottom groove just came in, and even when it was slicking off, it was still there. So I knew that entire race, that bottom was gonna be where it was at, even though it was greasy to start with. I just had to keep running it, and eventually it paid off by, I think, having a 3-second lead until that last caution.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, at one point you were about 3 to 4 seconds up above Jimmy Covert, but that late race caution came out. Did you think maybe, not Carl, Jimmy would have anything to get around you? He said the bottom was pretty dominant, but throughout the whole pack, there was a lot of people running the high side still. Do you think maybe Jimmy or even Chris Hamilton had anything for you tonight here on the dirt track of Charlotte?
I think they would have had something, but they would have had the time that last restart perfectly. I mean, I running dirt, I know when to change the start zone and when not to. Because I saw Chris was in my mirror. I saw Chris was getting up on my rear bumper, so I'm like, all right, I'll lay off a little bit. If he gets up, I'm going to take off because I know I'm going to catch someone sleeping at the start. So I mean, that last restart, I got that big of a jump. I really wasn't too worried. It was just hit my marks and all four corners for 2 laps and bring home the checkered.
Well, that's all that matters. You bring home the checkered play or the checkered flag, and that kind of hinders the championship there, as you're not in the championship race tonight. But one of the championship guys did not get the race win tonight, so that's a big feat in its own. As now they're going to be struggling to find extra points in this next race as the SKs come into Lucas Oil. Do you have any preparation for that race, or are you just going to run it exactly chill and just let the race come to you?
I don't really have much driving experience in the SK modifieds. I've run quite a few Legends races here, so I know the preferred line for Legends, and I'm hoping it's going to be the same line for those SK modifieds, and hopefully get a good qualifying position and try to take home the win in this one as well.
All right. Well, I know you have some sponsors and some people you want to give a shout out to, so that we'll go ahead and take the time to let you say in those shout outs.
I'd like to thank Hood Up Motorsports, JDM Designs, SG71 Photography, CFM Esports. Gotta thank CRN for broadcasting tonight, and you for I'm sure you put on an amazing broadcast. I'll have to watch it later, and Carl and everybody for putting on the Premier Series and Core, and my family and fiance for always supporting me.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go on ahead, get back up here with the rest of the guys, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on the second race.
Yep. Hopefully, thank you.
Yep. All right, guys. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a short little intermission. Gonna throw it into a commercial break, so you say, as we get ready for the second race. Another doubleheader tonight. This race says it all. Who's going to get the win and who's going to win the championship? Again, these guys do have to start from the back on the second race. So while we do that, I will let you guys out with a quick intermission. right, guys, welcome back after that short little admission. Got one more minute left of practice as we're taking a little look here. 15 drivers to take a lap time here for the final race of Premier Series season number 7. And this race will be a doozy as I've been sitting here watching, getting the camera set up, and it's going to be a real show here tonight. The SKs are on tap for 80 laps of racing tonight. And after that, you thought last race was going to be a doozy. Wait till you see this one. You're going to see a lot of too wide action as they're not going to be sideways this time. They're going to keep their car straight. But there's a lot of momentum to be had as you see a lot of guys running the top. You see some people running the middle, and you see some people running the inside. So that's going to be a really cool way to get this season wrapped up as I'm looking forward to doing season number 8 with these guys. I've been with Core for 2 years now. Actually, a little bit over 2 years. I actually started my iRacing career with Core, and these guys are the real deal when it comes to um, racing as we get ready to look here as Brandon Mettler has made his way out onto the track, and he's going to be able to put down a lap time here, and same as last time, you know, the 5 guys in the championship are not eligible to take a qualifying time, so you're going to see everybody else take a qualifying time but the last 5. That is Carl Handwerk, Chris Hamilton, Paul Butler, Dane Simpson, and Aaron Smith. So without further ado, I'm not sure if Carl is ready, but if he is not, I may bring him in here. Well, actually, we'll go ahead and bring in Paul Butler. Paul, this is Dylan up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man. How you doing, Dylan?
I'm going good. I know your first race, you're not doing so well after you went tumbling and bumbling down into turn 3 and 4, but now we got the SK Modifieds on tap here at Lucas Oil. What do you think the fast line is going to be around here for the 80 lap race?
Well, it's gonna be the line that don't have any cars spun out in it, I guess. No, but I'm thinking it's gonna be that second groove in the middle there. If I can get hooked up on that and quit oversteering the car, I think I'll be all right. I'm gonna try and just kind of pace myself for the beginning of the race and just learn how to drive in traffic in this car. This is not. I love this car. I've never driven on this track, so this is gonna be a first half of the race. I'm gonna be learning. Second half of the race, hopefully, I'll be going up there to try and contend for a win.
Yeah, we do like to see a Paul Butler win as we haven't really seen you be up in the podium positions as of late as I was supposed to be here this season racing, but with my conflicting schedule and not having the tracks, I was not able to make most of the races that took me out of championship contention. But coming with the last race of the season, you know, there's a lot of adversity in this league. You know, everybody calls each other family, brother, and everything, and everything that goes on in core, you know, you just can't be more happier as, you know, season 4, me, you, and Carl and others were battling for a championship in season 4 at Dover, if I'm not mistaken, in the Silver Crown cars, where
Yeah,
I
that was
ended up,
it.
yeah, I, you know, just happened to take it over the wall and got stuck, so that ruined my championship hopes. But other than
Sucks
that,
to
I mean,
suck.
yeah, it does suck to suck, but hopefully that doesn't happen to you tonight, and maybe you can squeak out a win and possibly win this championship tonight.
I don't think I have a chance at the championship. These guys are just too good, and I've had some bad finishes. Like I got greedy at the end of that race just a minute ago, and thought I was going to try and steal some positions at the end, and ended up losing some. So um, last week, last week I finished 6th and 7th in those races. That's not good enough against these guys. Um, the guys in core racing, it's legit.
Oh
This
yeah,
isn't easy.
oh yeah. I know from personal experience, it is not easy to find your way to the front, and if you do, you better hold on to it because it won't last very long. But
That's
in the
right.
chat right now, we have Ricky Gonzalez saying tequila time, PB. So,
Hey, I am down with that. I'm always down for tequila time. So, yeah, keep cheering me on. See if we can put this number 77 up there. We did have tequila time a couple weeks ago when I won a race, even though you just told everybody I hadn't had a podium in a while. But tonight I'm gonna keep it fun and sexy, and we're gonna get out there and try and go after it, bro.
yeah, see, that's how uninvolved I am with this Premier Series.
Exactly. I
So,
won.
well,
You know what
I
I'm saying?
am very, very happy for you.
I like
Congratulations
you.
on your win. I believe I was
Appreciate
in
it, man.
Discord when that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got a little crazy afterwards. Ricky was already pretty intoxicated from the All Star race. He went to the All Star race in Texas. He was already pretty intoxicated, and then we jumped on FaceTime, took a few shots together, cut up and laughed for the rest of the night, and it was probably the best after race party I've ever had in Core. It was great. I loved it. Ricky's my dude.
All right. Well, right now I'm gonna bring in Carl Handwork. He's gonna give us the rundown on points and everything, so on and so forth, after that first race, and see where the top five in the championship run stack up at the back of the field, as they are not allowed to take a qualifying time for the second race and the last race of the Premier Series 7.
Yeah, so Dane Simpson's going to start 11th, Paul Butler 12th, myself 13th, Hamilton 14th, and Aaron Smith 15th. Smith has a 3-point lead over Hamilton, 14 points over me, 29 over Butler, and 56 over Simpson.
So there you have it. We're going to have a very tight, close battle on our hands with these top five. And from me up here in the booth, I wish you, PB, and the rest of everybody out there racing tonight a very congratulations on making the championship. And hopefully you guys can come out on top and keep it clean.
Yeah, I'm going to need some help now, but appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dylan.
All right, as we get the championship drivers back into the race mode here. Going to bring up the qualifying order here, as it looks like we may have to, there it goes. In first place, Thaddeus Marshall going 2 for 2, qualifying pole, and the number 87 Hood Up Motorsports SK Modified. In position number 2 is the 8 of Kevin Foster. Third is the 46 of Adam Jones. Fourth is the 44 of John Nobinger. Fifth, the Indiana native Brandon Metler in the 15. Sixth, Paul Owens in the 54. Seventh, Mark Gonzalez in the 88. Eighth, Jimmy Covert in the 14. Ninth is John Crane in the 11. 10th, Tim Thompson in the 05. Aaron Smith, Carl Handwork, Chris Hamilton, Paul Butler, and Dane Simpson rounding out your 15-car field, as those five could not take a time, as mentioned earlier. So they will get sorted back out, and we will have a very cool race on our hands, as we're going to take a look at all these paint schemes out here tonight. And if you do have a favorite driver that you're looking forward to, go ahead, put it in YouTube chat. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know who you guys are going for. As I know, Ricky Gonzalez is going for Mr. PB himself. So we do have a guy going for PB, as we try to take a look at these beautiful paint schemes here before they go green. And I'm going to change the camera over to Farchase. Looking at that number 44 of John Nobinger. I'm going to take it up to Thaddeus Marshall and that number 87. Go to the 8 of Kevin Foster, running a Hello Kitty paint scheme. That's something that we never really see from Kevin Foster, showing his appreciation to Hello Kitty. The 46 of Adam Jones. But before we can get through everything, we're getting ready to take the green here. So 80 laps tonight. Not sure exactly what the fuel run is, as I was not able to get any laps in. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead, take the green flag here. Nope. Green flag. No, I believe they are going to stack them back up. and go again. Not exactly sure what is happening here. Is Kevin Foster? Yeah, so they are going to restack them up again as Kevin Foster got out to an early lead. I don't think he realized that they were not going that time by, but that gives us a little bit of an extra time to get ready to go into this 80 lap race as we got the flyby camera here going into turn number 1 and 2. Going to see the top 5 in points battling for the championship back there, and they're coming through 3 and 4 right now, getting ready to go into turn 3 and 4. Thaddeus Marshall still on pole here, won the pole from one pole, got the pole last race and won the thing at Dirt Track of Charlotte, but now here we go. 80 laps to decide the championship winner. It can be the 96, the 77, the 18, the 64, or the 70. You heard it from Carl. He was not very happy, but they are green flag racing. We are getting ready to go into turn number 1, and they are 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 as Thaddeus Marshall gets an early lead, but they're 2 by 2 behind him as it looks like the 46 is going to get by Kevin Foster, get a little bit of a hiccup there as the 44 is on the outside and Aaron Smith is trying to get to the outside of the inside of, I believe, Christopher Hamilton. So Aaron Smith, ooh, the 88 of Mark Gonzalez gets a little bit too tight, puts it up into the wall as the back 5 are your championship contenders. As it looks like Carl Handwerk says, no thank you, I'm going to take this time to get as much positions as I can just in case if a caution does come out and he is not able to get there. But looks like the 14 just almost got a little bit of a bump. It was not the 14, I apologize. It was the 11 of John Crane, got a little bit of a bump from the 96 of Dane Simpson as the 2 CRN broadcasters of Jimmy Covert and Carl Handwerk are side by side. Carl going to make the move on Jimmy Covert, move Carl Handwerk up to P number 6 actually. And there's a big caution, not exactly sure what happened, but that takes out almost all of the championship drivers. What just happened there? Thad Marshall, we're going to have to rewind this and slow it down just a little bit. Not exactly sure what happened there. I'm not, wow. That was not a good look for Thad Marshall as we go into turn number 1 and 2. Thad running the outside lane. Not sure if he just got tight or what, but gets into the wall. Oh, it slaps him sideways, and there's nowhere to go for anybody as this is such a tight track. Carl Handwerk gets into it, and look at Thaddeus Marshall go. Just absolute carnage down here on the track. Not sure exactly if they get a fast repair or not, but we'll go ahead and rewind it and look and see through Mr. Carl Handwerk's perspective as he was trying to get through that and almost got through it completely as we're getting ready to go through here through turn 1 and 2. Carl Handwerk sees that he's in the wall, everybody going every which way. Carl Handwerk backing it down, gets into Thad just a little bit, and then gets turned by another championship contender of Dane Simpson, and his engine doesn't seem to be damaged. So that's going to be the first caution of the race. Carl Handwerk was involved, and that's just something that you don't ever really want to see through this whole race. Is Thad started on pole and is now in pit road 1 lap down, but moved Carl Handwerk up to 3rd. So that wreck was not very harsh on Carl Handwerk's motor, as it seems like Carl, Paul Butler, and Aaron Smith, same with Chris Hamilton, all made it through with a little bit of damage. But you can see just as quick as everything can go in a hurry as you've seen it there. Thad got in the wall, and with these open wheel cars, just like last race, you barely touch the wall, or if you hit somebody else, something terrible could go wrong, and that's exactly what happened for the number 87 of the 87 of Thaddeus Marshall. But looking at that beautiful neon green and white Joka Graphics 18 Core Racing League SK modified, it seems like he doesn't have a lot of damage on there. And we're going to see if he can still make his way, as they're 2x2 here. So I'm pretty sure they got the 1 to green already. As we jump back over to TV number 2 here, going to give you a little side-by-side action as the pace car has dipped down pit road. Mark Gonzalez and Adam Jones taking up your front row. Adam Jones is your race leader. It is on his discretion. Adam Jones coming out of turn number 4. Gets on the loud pedal super early. Going to get a little bit of tow going into turn number 1 and 2 as Carl Henwick's got the second row all to himself as they're battling behind him. But here comes Mark Gonzalez on his outside. Don't hit the wall as they get through 1 and 2. But Mark rubbing the wall just a little bit, something that you don't really want to see. And Mark not giving up without a fight as we have our... Oh, there's another big wreck back in the back. Not exactly sure what happened, but that should bring out another race caution here as the 64... Nope, not the 64. John Nobinger gets... John Crane gets into Dane Simpson. Dane gets a little bit loose. John has nowhere to go. Nobinger has nowhere to go. And that wasn't as bad as the first caution, but it is still a big thing to have. No caution is out. Yes, it is. There's the caution. So we just seen exactly what happened is a lot of stuff can go terribly wrong in a blink of an eye, as it looks like Mark Gonzalez thought about pitting there. I think he might have missed his pit entrance. Not exactly sure, but now we get to the who's going to pit and who's not, as it looks like the 11 is going to take a pit here and get that car replaced if he has to. Again, guys, if you are new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, your sister, your aunt, anybody you have in your little circle. If you like sim racing, please apply to Core Racing League at www.coreRacingLeague.com. These are a bunch of great guys, and I am one of the racers here in Core, and it's just like Paul Butler said at the top of the broadcast for the second race. It is a dogfight out here. You know, it is hard to get up to it is hard to get up to the lead, as you know, qualifying does matter here. So if you can get a good qualifying session or qualifying spot, you would be in a good spot. But so far right now we have Mark Gonzalez in P number 1. He did get around Adam Jones. Not exactly sure when that took place, as we were focused on the crash that did take place and not a lot of places where people could go. Adam Jones, P number 2. Carl Henwer bringing it back to P number 3, as we are still going to go ahead and bring up the good old paint schemes here. Mark Gonzalez in that number 88 iRacing machine doesn't have a paint scheme on there. The 46 NCSRA SK modified, driven by no other than Adam Jones. Carl Henwick in that beautiful lime green and white SK modified Core Racing League. Paul Butler in the Ultra Slim Fast City Chevrolet 77. Chris Hamilton in the vetmotorsports.org SK modified. Tim Thompson in the 05 NOS Energy Drink. The Yellow Banana himself, Aaron Smith. The 14 of Jimmy Covert in the Joka Graphics. Angel Energy Drink of Paul Owens in the number 54. Hello Kitty number 8 of Kevin Foster. The 87 of Thaddeus Marshall in the BFP. John Crane in the In and Out. And Brandon Mettler in the number 15. But as we look here, we are going to go green. We're getting back up here. The Barney's got the green flag in his hand, and Mark Gonzalez off to a big jump here, not wasting any time as we dive into turn number 1. Going to look at Carl Handwerk as he's got a little bit of a battle with the number 77. The 77 on his outside, not giving him any room though. Carl will not go down without a fight as they have the number 64 of Chris Hamilton right behind them, but 2 car lengths back is the number 70 of that Yellow Banana. And if I'm Carl and Chris and Paul Butler, I will want to make sure I see that Yellow Banana as he can come out of nowhere. I used to run with this guy in a different league running the tour mods, and the dude is ridiculously fast. He shows up, he knows what he's doing. He's been on here for a while, and he's got these cars down pat as we're still too wide between Paul Butler and Carl Handwerk. Carl running that inside defensive line, going to push up just a little bit, but keep it off of Paul Butler. Paul Butler into the wall. Chris Hamilton shoves it to the inside. Going to try to take that spot away from PB as PB got in the wall there a little bit. And they're now single file as it looks like the 64 is going to try to get back around Paul Butler here and see if he can make that inside work. So far, Aaron Smith is too wide. Oh, was too wide with Tim Thompson, but he let it go back down as we have Paul Owens here. A little 4-car battle with Aaron Smith, Tim Thompson, Jimmy Covert, and himself. So we're going to see what the 54 machine can do. See if he can get around all 4 of these guys. And again, you know, it is championship night. You don't want to race the championship 5 hard, but you also don't want them just to walk away. You know, you don't want to be a pushover. As the 54 got into the 14 just a little bit, I wonder if Jimmy got a little bit tight, had to back up his exit there, as the 54 almost had a close call with the number 14. But now we are 23 laps into our 80 lap stint here, and Paul Owens going to wrap the inside as far down as he possibly can. Was trying to get away around the number 05, but not able to complete it as we are on lap number 24 of 80. And so far, a couple of greens. It happens, you know, it is a short track, but back up here towards the front, Chris Hamilton still not able to get around Paul Butler. So Paul Butler's playing great defense here as Adam Jones is still trying to make his way around Mark Gonzalez. Mark Gonzalez still holding the position number 1 as it looks like Thaddeus Marshall takes it behind the wall possibly as he makes his unscheduled pit stop here. Not exactly sure, like I said over the broadcast, if or what the laps are for fuel, but we're going to see a bunch of different strategies as Aaron Smith is now right behind these top 3, as Aaron Smith is now trying to close the gap on the number 64, but it's going to be a tough feat. I mean, you know, you can catch somebody as just passing him as Carl Handwerk gets into the wall there. Not sure if that's going to ruin his momentum going into the corners or not, but Carl Handwerk getting into the wall there. You don't want to do it as this track's a little bit smaller, and momentum's going to be key. But back to what I was saying is with these cars, especially with Aaron Smith being right behind you, you don't really want to overdrive your car, but you don't want to underdrive it as well. Yes, it may be a long race, but with it being a short track, that long race can turn into a pretty quick one, as if they do go green here. Aaron Smith has caught the 64 and the 77, and that's just something you don't really want to see this easily into the run, as looks like the 87 has taken it behind the wall, and Thaddeus Marshall is out of this race. The 18 still leading the way over the 77, the 64, and the 70. So put Carl Handwerk up at the front for the championship so far. Not sure if that would be able to help him. I'm thinking he needs to win the race in order to win the championship. So if Carl Handwerk could do that, that would be a feat in his own, as he's got the top two in front of him of Mark Gonzalez and Adam Jones. And while they're two battling, he's kind of pulling away from the 77 of Paul Butler. Going back through the field here, looks like Tim Thompson's getting a little bit of a challenge from the 54 of Paul Owens. Paul not giving up, though. Paul's going to keep trying to use that bottom line to his advantage, but it seems like the outside that Paul's running is keeping him afloat, as the other biggest battle we have on track would be Aaron Smith. You know, the top 5 in championship points had a start in the back, but these 4 have found their way up here, as Dane Simpson is officially out of this race, probably from the first caution that flew, and that's just something you don't really want to see, as this is an 80 lap race, and this decides your championship, whether you're going to win it or if you're going to finish second, third, fourth, or fifth. So a lot is on the line, as Aaron Smith is still trying to track down the number 64 of Chris Hamilton, and the 77 of Paul Butler, same with the 18 of Carl Handwerk. So still a lot of laps left. So we're going to see exactly what's going to happen as we get ready to almost 5 laps away from hitting halfway home here. 40 more laps to find our season 7 champion, as we are 36 laps in. Still single file. Nobody's really trying to make the move, as the 54 finally got around the number 05 of Tim Thompson, but Tim Thompson actually dropped down 2 spots, as Jimmy Covert was able to find his way around the 05 of Tim Thompson. Back up front, though, Adam Jones still trying to track down our race leader, Mark Gonzalez, kind of keeping him honest. He's not able to pull away. Neither is the top 2, though. Carl has pulled away from the next 3 people, but he's not getting really any closer to the leader. So they're kind of at a standstill here. Carl doesn't have any draft, but Paul doesn't have any draft off of Carl. So this will hopefully turn out to be a really good fight to the finish here, as I'm thinking from a racer's perspective, I think Chris Hamilton's just fine riding in the back of or actually Chris Hamilton just made a pass on Paul Butler, so move Chris Hamilton up 1 more position, as Aaron Smith got around Paul Butler. Not exactly sure what happened there, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Paul Butler just possibly burned up his tires and not able to get to the inside like where he needs and wants to be. But halfway home, 40 laps to go. Still your race leader, the 88 of Mark Gonzalez, followed by Adam Jones. And then our championship contenders, Carl Handwerk, Chris Hamilton, Aaron Smith, and Paul Pit Penalty Butler. This will decide our Season 7 champion. Again, if you guys are new to the stream or haven't seen yet or just tuning in, we had a doubleheader here tonight, as Thaddeus Marshall got the pole in the dirt midgets at Dirt Track of Charlotte, ended up in dominating fashion, led all 40 laps pretty much, and secured the victory, and has now into the second race, qualified on pole for tonight, and got into the first wreck incident, was not able to get back out on track, so his night is done. But so far, Carl Handwerk has pulled away from your third and fourth place finishers, or third and fourth place runners as fourth and fifth. I am sorry. Fourth and fifth place runners as Carl Handwerk is now breathing down the back of your second place runner, Adam Jones. Adam Jones knows Carl's coming. He knows what he's got to do. But at this point, I think Carl is just at the point where, I had a bit of a mistake in the first race. This is my bounce back race. Carl is a very good, very avid oval racer, and he does a lot for Core. He does a lot of road racing stuff too. So if you guys do like road racing or anything like that, Core does do the special events, the endurance races. They won Spa 24-hour last year. Me, Nick Nickerson, and Jeff Burton won the 12-hour of Sebring this year. So we have some very decorated guys in this league as we do a lot of everything. Premier Series, we do dirt road, oval. We mix and match as well. So you're going to see a lot of different stuff here the next upcoming season, as I can't wait for it. Season 8 is going to be epic, and hopefully I do put in a lot of practice and can find myself up in the podium spot, as it looks like we have a battle for a pass here, as Chris Hamilton's probably might get passed by the 70 of Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith, another very fast contender. He is a new face in this series, so look for him to try to capitalize on a championship here. Chris Hamilton, he's been in the league for a little bit, still trying to capitalize on that Premier Series championship. Carl Handwerk, again, Mr. Four time, trying to make it 5, as we have a crash as Brandon Metler went off track here. Going to see exactly what happened. Wonder if he got into the wall, got it up on 2 wheels, got stuck on the wall, gets off track, and then spins it right up in front of the track here. Not sure if a caution were to come out here or not, but they keep it green. 51 laps out of 80, and Carl Handwerk can smell the top 2 right in front of him. All Carl needs is the top 2 to battle for a lap or 2, and Carl Handwerk could be there for the race win. Talking to Carl before this race started, he was not very happy due to what happened to him in the first race, but to have a bounce back race like this one is very remarkable. These 5 guys in the championship battle had to start in the back and have worked their way and clawed their way back up to the front, as it looks like Carl is now 0.5 away from their leader and still gaining on them. Going to drop it down to 0.4 from the leader as they're going through turn 3 and 4 onto the front stretch. Mark Gonzalez has led pretty much from the start of the first caution till now, as Carl Handwerk is still trying to get it up to him, and not much of a big battle between the 64 and the 70, as they're kind of having a little bit of a drafting help as Mark Gonzalez drops down pit road. So move the race leader up to the number 46 of Adam Jones. So pit stops are going to play part here, as the 46 is going to dive down pit road. So I'm not sure when Carl Handwerk his pits. He might have to pit here very shortly. Carl Handwerk gets a lap led, and the number 18 looks like a little bit of a throwback to Kyle Busch, as he's making his way around. He's going to stay out possibly another lap. I'm going to see how much he can stretch this, as Carl Handwerk has now become your race leader from the back to the front, the way it's supposed to be done. Aaron Smith, P number 3, still working on Chris Hamilton. When are these guys going to pit? as it looks like they're coming off of turn 1 and 2. Chris Hamilton has a slight edge over the number 70 of the Yellow Banana, Mr. Aaron Smith, the newcomer. Dane Simpson, he is out of this race, but he would have been the very first Canadian in core to win a championship, but other stuff had to be followed with that first wreck incident, as that could ruin anybody's race. I think I heard they did not get any fast repairs this race. So that was another thing they had to be cautious for, as, you know, not having a fast repair, that kind of hinders your how hard you want to run, and that'll make anybody change their run, as it looks like they're still going to stay out here. Not sure if they can make it on fuel or not, but if they can, you better watch out, because I don't think it's going to be a big win here unless you may have to pit. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the last time pit stop time. And Carl Handwerk last pit on that second caution. So you're looking, they may possibly be able to go the whole distance, as Gonzalez, actually, they might not be able to make the whole distance, as Carl Handwerk still has a 1.5 to 1.9 second lead over second and third places. Aaron Smith is going to look to the inside of Chris Hamilton, going to back out of it, as he couldn't make the pass on the number 64, but still looking on that inside. Carl up in P number 1, loving to see that battle, as we got another battle back here on track with Jimmy Covert. And no, actually, the 46, and the 46 is not for position with Paul Owens. So that's a bit different to see, as Paul Owens, I think he might be using him for draft. That could be the only reason I see it. But Kevin Foster is under fire from Tim Thompson. This is a home track for myself, as I am from Indiana. The other Indiana guy out there is Brandon Mettler. He is out of this race, unfortunately, but me and him are the only two Indiana boys out here tonight. So big congrats to Brandon Mettler making the race and trying to put it in victory lane for us home state natives, as Kevin Foster is pulled away from the number 05 of Tim Thompson. And it looks like Aaron Smith is still not there on our second place runner, as it looks like Paul Butler has fallen back to P number 4. I wonder if he's just in tire conserve mode. Same with fuel, as I don't think Paul Butler has pit at all this whole race. So that's going to be another strategy here, as Aaron Smith took a little bit of a higher entry going into that corner, and I don't know if it's going to pay dividends. As we look here, going to go into turn number 1 and 2, get you a little side action shot from the wall here, as you see Carl running that high side. Same with Chris Hamilton. So there's a lot of different lines here. Chris Hamilton running that outside, Paul Butler letting the 11 get around him, and everybody else is kind of running that outside. Nobody's really trying to push the issue running that inside, as we've seen everybody else running that inside and having it be dominant, as Aaron Smith going to look for another run on the number 64, but not able to make the pass. But with Carl being up in P number 1, Carl's loving it. You know, yeah, keep on battling behind me. You do that, I'm gonna keep running my race up here. I don't have to push the car too much. I don't have to do anything, you know? So Carl up to still about 1.7 to 1.9 second lead over second and third place, coming to the line to take 10 to go. Carl got the lead because Mark Gonzalez had to pit, and so far it has been the 18 show, as we are 70 laps into this 80 lap race, as Carl Handwerk is leading with Chris Hamilton in second, Aaron Smith in third, Paul Owens in fourth now, Jimmy Covert in 5th, Kevin Foster in 6th, Paul Butler kind of dropping like a rock back here. Not sure exactly what happened to Mr. PB. Tim Thompson in 8th, Mark Gonzalez in 9th, 1 lap down, Adam Jones 1 lap down in 10th, John Crane 4 laps down in 11th, Brandon Mettler in 12th, 25 laps down, Fad 48 laps down in 13th, John Obinger 51 laps down in 14th, and Dane Simpson rounding out your 15-car field, 61 laps down in 15th. But so far, taking lap number 73 out of 80, and it looks like Carl Handwerk has opened that gap to 2 seconds over the second and third place driver. So he's got a 2-second lead on Aaron Smith, but a 1.7 second lead on your second place finisher, second place racer, Christopher Hamilton, excuse me. Throat's starting to get a little bit dry, but we can manage this. But now we're looking at lapped traffic. Will Paul Butler move out of the way and give Handwerk the preferred line? Paul Butler making his way down pit road as he got out of the way for Carl Handwerk. Carl getting around him, not having much of a fight with him, as now Carl starts working on the number 05 of Tim Thompson. We have reached 5 laps to go, coming this time by 6 right now, but Carl is 5 laps away from winning this race and possibly getting the championship. Not sure if the win would guarantee the championship, but with Chris and Aaron Smith back there battling constantly, they're hurting themselves more than they're really helping, as they're just letting Carl kind of pull away here, as the 05 is going to play a little bit of a pick for Carl, and they're going to they caught the 05 of Tim Thompson in a bad spot of the corner, going right in there. Once you commit to a line, you can't really move your car anymore, as Carl has now opened up a 2.1 second lead over third place, but still keeping that 1.8 second gap on second place, as pretty much Aaron is bump drafting the 64 all the way down the front stretch and the back stretch, but trying to look for a pass on him going into the corner, but so far not able to make it work, as Carl Handwerk comes around and takes lap number 79, but there is a caution and there's melee all over the top. And here we go. That will change everything. We're going to take a look back here as Adam Jones gets hit by the number 54 of the 14. It was the 14 of Jimmy Covert. But yeah, so looking back at this replay, going to actually go on to the onboard of Jimmy Covert and see exactly what happened here. Wonder if Adam just kind of came up and wasn't clear, as they get sent for a little bit of a ride. John Crane, I know it was John Crane. John Crane, nowhere to go, but that is going to put a dampening on everything as we go back to the live scene here. Carl Handwerk not electing to pit. So far, Carl Handwerk, Chris Hamilton, Paul Owens, Aaron Smith is in pit road. This will be interesting. Who saved their tires and who did not. They do have a green-white checkered, and guys, if you are in here, this will be a finish to remember, as this is the final race of Season 7 Core Premier Series. Tomorrow we have Indy cars at Indianapolis for the Indy 500 Core style. You can catch the race leader, Carl Handwerk, and Jimmy Covert in the booth for that one tomorrow night. Tuesday, I'm back in the booth for the trucks at Homestead Miami Speedway. Thursday, the vintage cars tackles, I believe it is, I can't remember, Bristol. The 87 cars go to Bristol this Thursday as I try to continue my chances for a championship before the final race of the season. And then Friday, the Cup Series next gen cars hit Homestead Miami Speedway, and this is a big week of racing for Core as it is every week, and CRN has you for the action as we're getting ready to take the one to go here. I do believe as Carl is electing to take the inside. So Carl taking the inside over the outside for Christopher Hamilton, but he does have Paul Owens right behind him. And this may shape up to be a wild, wild finish. We may see some moves that should not be made, but that's where we separate the boys from the men. And if I know anything about Core, we know all about that as Carl will lead them to the green here. He's gonna be the first one to be on the loud pedal as he goes right way before turn 4 even gets done as Carl Henwick going to take the early lead. Aaron Smith, though, on those fresh rubbers, going to try to make that way inside work as Aaron Smith has made his way back up here to the front. Aaron Smith going to take it to the inside of Paul Butler, but I don't think he can get there as Christopher Hamilton, they take the white flag. They're all single file here. Can Chris Hamilton get to the back bumper of Carl Handwerk? Will he give him the bumper? Will he overshoot? Will he just let Carl get the win? We will not see it here be done as Carl Handwerk will come around to take the checkered flag and Chris Hamilton in P number 2 with Paul Owens rounding out your top 3. So Carl Handwerk is your race winner tonight. From the back all the way to the front, that was a memorable race for your race winner in the number 18. He gave it all she had. He got involved into a wreck very early, but was able to save and save and save. And Carl Handwerk will win tonight's race at Lucas Oil Speedway. As he gets ready to do a little bit of some donuts there, can't get the car whipped around as these cars are pretty hard to get turned around the opposite way and do a little bit of burnouts. But you can see everybody giving them a bit of congratulations on your race win here. So while we do that, I'll go ahead and get third place up into the booth while we're waiting. And Paul, this is Dylan McDonald in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Okay. Paul, this is Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, sir, I can
There we
now.
go. Sorry, I was
Okay.
having some internet issues.
Oh, you're all right. Well, sir, you come home P number 3 in this final race of the season. What can you walk us through how that track and race felt through this whole 80 lap dash?
Safe feel, turn, don't burn the tires. That was pretty much the key there, from what I thought.
Yeah, it seemed like you knew what to do there towards the end, but you were trying to get to the back of Carl, try to help him through this whole race tonight, but it was him ultimately coming through with the win. Kind of, what was your mentality coming to that last green white checkered?
Don't wreck the people in the championship, but try and win at the same time.
Yeah, that is always a feat in itself. Is I've been in that spot before, trying to get myself a win, but also don't want to wreck the people in front of me. So, big congrats. You come in here, you finished P3. Before I let you get on out of here, is there anybody you want to give a big shout out to?
I want to congratulate Chris on the championship. It's a long season. It's good that he won.
All right. Well, there is our third place finisher, Paul Owens. All right. So we will get our second place finisher in here. Chris
Okay.
Hamilton. This is Dylan McDonald in the booth. Got a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, buddy. Well, so far, that first race you did pretty well. The second race you even did even better. You did have some tough competition with the number 70 of Aaron Smith on your back bumper the whole race. He did try to look for the pass on you a couple of times, but that kind of let Carl get away with you. How would you determine your race went from the start of that race to the end of it?
Uh, Trying to work my way up as cleanly as possible, and unfortunately, on that second race, the wreck came down into me and ruined my clean race, and I think that was the deciding factor.
Yeah, we did talk about that wreck. Is it? I said it over broadcast. You know, it is a tight, small racetrack, and before you know it, you could be a mile away, but still get into a little bit of trouble there. It seemed like you didn't have too much damage, as you know, you could keep up with the front guys, but there towards the end, do you think you had anything for Carl on that green white checkered?
I needed to get a good restart. Unfortunately, due to that first wreck, I had to take my fast repair, and I just had to stay with Carl. He knows I'm notoriously terrible on restarts, so I did what I could, tried to close it in as much as I could, and I think in the end I can still hold my head up high with this season. I'm pretty sure, according to what Carl just told me before coming in here, I think it was a difference of 2 to 3 points, and that was because Aaron had a clean race and he is the champion. So congratulations to Aaron. I didn't really celebrate too much. I wanted to know. I knew it was close, but hey, absolutely enjoy running this league with everyone involved, core family, and you give me a run for my money sometimes in the Vintage Cup Series. But yeah, overall, it's a blast.
Oh yeah, it's always a blast, as you know, with me and you battling it out on track in the Vintage Series. We have two more races left. I know you're not looking forward to the last one, but I am. And, you know, my over eager mouth got up to me, and you had a great season in the Premier Series. You're having a great season in the Vintage Series, so maybe you can carry this momentum from tonight into Thursday night in the Vintage Cup cars at Bristol.
Yeah, we'll do what we can. I'll wrap it up the Premier Series, giving the crown over to Aaron Smith. He absolutely deserved it. By far and away the best overall driver all season. Accumulated the most points, and I think it's fitting that he takes the championship. So good job, Aaron.
Yeah, that is a great job indeed by him coming in, new face, and showing these guys that he's got what it takes to be a champion in Premier Series, and that is a very hard feat to accomplish. As you were trying to get your first one, I'm still trying to chase my first one in anything in core. But before I send you on out of here, does anybody want to give a big shout out to or special thanks?
Huge shout out to Ryan McCauley. He does these Vet Motorsports paints each and every week that you see on here on the Core Racing Network. Does a fantastic job on them. He thinks he does a good job, but I promise you, he's one of the best painters. Probably the best painter that I know. Huge thank you to the Core family. It's a family. We race hard, we race fun. Thanks to Carl for putting on this league. Thanks to all the friends and family that are watching. Love you guys, and thank you for the broadcast, Dylan.
No, don't mention it. As you know, I will have to admit Ryan McCauley does do pretty cool paint schemes. He did make one for me for a second to last race championship in honor for my grandfather for a memorial race that I did in a different league, and ended up bringing home the win in that league. So big shout out to Ryan McCauley making these special paint schemes for you and I, and we'll see you on Thursday in the Vintage at Bristol.
Heck yeah, man. I'll see you then.
See you later. All right, so that was our second place finisher. Now we're going to move on to our first place finisher, Carl Handwerk, working his way from the back to the front to the back to the front, and he finally got the last win of the season, but I don't think it was enough to clinch the championship, as Chris Hamilton told me. Carl, I know you're ecstatic for the race win, but give us a little bit in detail about how your engine handled after that little bit of an incident in that first caution.
Oh, well, this is probably the most depressing win of my Premier career. It's just I knew going in that I needed a lot of help after getting taken out in that first race. So it was going to be a little uphill battle, but I knew I was decent in these SK modifieds. I like them, and it was a pretty good track there at IRP. And yeah, our early incident blew my engine on lap 6. I had a meatball on lap 6, so obviously it was really nice and happy after that one as well. But went in there, got a fast repair, topped off on fuel, and it looked like I guess the front two guys of Mark and Adam um, must not have taken fuel. They had to go in there and refuel, I guess. But once you stopped in there and took fuel one time, you were pretty much good to the end. So that's what happened. And yeah, I mean, I'm never disappointed with a win, but this one still kind of hurts.
Yeah, it does sting a little bit, as I've come close, but with no cigar. But you did come home with the race win. That's another Premier Series in the books for this season. I'll be back out on track with you guys next season. And coming to that last restart, you went super early. Were you trying to catch Chris Hamilton sleeping on the restart, or was that your plan the whole race if you did get another caution?
A little bit of both. I know the top line is where you need to be, but if you restart on the top, I was susceptible to a dive bomb for him to get down on the inside and in front of me, or him kind of trap me up towards the very top line and the little bit of dirty track up there. So I figured, let me start on the inside, get an early jump so I can make sure I'm clear of him, and be able to move up there in 1 and 2, or pull a little bit of a slider if I have to myself. So yeah, that was kind of gonna be the plan if there was a late race caution. I was hoping there wasn't, but yeah. Then when it came out, I'm like, well, maybe this can shake out and maybe something will happen for the championship. But yeah, it was still a long shot.
It was a long shot indeed, and it put on a very great broadcast and a very great race, as we had battles all over the track. And before we send you on out of here, or maybe I even may keep you in the broadcast booth to give the congratulations to Aaron Smith here in a second. But is there anybody you want to give a shout out to and a special thanks to?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, all these guys in here that make this Premier Series happen, that make Core happen. We wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't for the drivers. So I appreciate everyone that came out here tonight. I appreciate everyone for the entire season. It's been fun. Hopefully, next season will be just as fun. We still have technically one more race here in a couple weeks. We have the All-Star race, so have a little bit of fun with that one before the next season kicks off. And if anybody's still interested in getting into next season, you can do that. Or if you're interested in getting a raffle number for next season for the raffle drawing for races, there's still spots available for that as well. That drawing will be done during the All-Star festivities, so the last day to buy those is going to be next Saturday. Shout out to you for hopping in here and doing the broadcast. I'm sure you'd have been to been out there on the track with us, especially for the midgets out there. But it's I do appreciate you hopping in the booth and covering this race for us. And yeah, wife, kids, shout out to them as well. I mean, I put a lot of work in this, and they probably get neglected more than they probably should.
Yeah, you do put in a lot of time with Core, helping everybody out in Core with the special events going on, the endurance races, and me being me, not being a road course guy, and getting into the car in a GT3 or an LMP2, and you just being there as a father figure to everybody, helping us get better and faster until we ended up beating you. It 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 does help. So I do appreciate everything that you do for Core, as I am a racer in Core, and hopefully we can tackle this Thursday and then get back to it for the All-Star race for the last race in the Premier Series.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. I'm already ready for next season.
So am I. I'm waiting. I got my raffles done. I'm hoping my number gets picked, because there's going to probably be a lot of people that's not going to be too happy with me.
No, that's the Premier season for you.
Yeah, I do know that. But all right, Carl, I'm going to go ahead and let you get on out of here if you want to, or you can stay in the booth with me and Aaron Smith and give him a big congratulations.
Yeah, you can keep me in here because I think it'll be a little bit of a shock to him and maybe some others.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring in Aaron Smith. You come home P number 5 tonight, but you kept the race car clean. You didn't bruise the banana, as I should say. There's no scuff marks on the yellow paint, but after that first race, battling with Chris Hamilton there in the dirt midgets, moving on to the SKs in at Lucas Oil Speedway, kind of give us a little bit of a rundown of your race before we get into the bigger news.
Well, I wasn't too sure what to expect with the SK modifieds, but I'm not too good at the dirt midgets. But I was able to bring home that P4 or wherever I finished there, and I didn't think the points were that close. I guess I should have read through the rules before I started racing tonight, because I didn't realize that some of the spots were worth 2 points each. But yeah, I should have taken that into account before I pitted in that last stop in the SK race. If I'd known it was that close, I definitely would not have done that. But starting on the bottom, regardless, was pretty bad there, and I'm glad I was able to bring it home P5, even though that was last on the lead lap.
Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up to Carl here and give you the final rundown of the championship standings. Not sure if you know or not of what order the championship went down to, so without further ado, Carl, I'll let you go ahead and run down the top 5.
Yeah, in 5th place is going to be Dane Simpson. 4th place is going to be Paul Butler. Again, these are still unofficial. Just need to double check everything. In 3rd place, 8 points behind, is going to be myself. Then tie for 1st place.
Oh.
The tie breaker will go down to wins on the season, which will go to Aaron. So again, these points are unofficial, so I'm going to make sure everything is correct and go through everything before we get an announcement here for sure. But yeah, obviously, regardless, this is the closest finish in Premier Series history, let alone in core history for a championship, finishing in a tie. And yeah, like I said, tiebreaker, first tiebreaker is wins, second is top 5s, but we're going to have to go to that. Aaron, with his wins this year, would be your champion.
All right, sounds good. Hopefully that's the final counting there when you go through it again later. But yeah, I appreciate y'all putting this season on. Hopefully I'll be able to come back next season and try to replicate this performance. But yeah.
Not much of an excitement from the good old Aaron Smith as I ran with him in the tour mods, and the dude's just ridiculously fast. So I knew what I was stacked up against when I seen that man come into this season. And like you said, I do hope he does come in here because that's great competition that Core loves to have. So uh, before we get this thing signed off here tonight, Aaron, is there anybody you want to give special thanks to?
Yeah, once again, I'd like to thank the folks at the Core Racing League for putting this show on, all the folks for putting on a solid race this season, putting on a solid broadcast, and all the folks for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get back at it again next season.
All right. Well, there's your unofficial winner of the series, Aaron Smith, as he had a very good performance. Carl, you had a very good performance all season long. All these guys have. It's always a special feeling to get behind the wheel of a different car every week. You're not stuck to one specific car, and glad to see Core going into a 8th season of Premier Series. So before I get out of here tonight, we're going to go ahead and run down our 15 car field. Is Carl Handwerk in the number 18, rounding out your top number 1 spot. Christopher Hamilton coming home in 2nd, driving the number 64. Paul Owens in the number 54 in 3rd. Kevin Foster in the 8 and 4th. Aaron Smith in 5th in the 70. Mark Gonzalez in the 88 in 6th. Tim Thompson in the 05 and 7th. Jimmy Covert in the 14 in 8th place. Paul Butler in the 77 in 9th. Adam Jones in the 46 in 10th. John Crane in the 11, finishing position 11. Brandon Metler, the Indiana boy, in 15th. Car number 15 finishing in 12th. John Nobinger in the 44 finishing 13th. Thaddeus Marshall, tough break for him, qualified on pole in the 87 in 14th, and Dane Simpson rounding out your 15 car field in the number 96. So that being said, this is Dylan in the broadcast booth with the CRN network, and take care and brush your hair.